And welcome to another episode of DioTalk. I'm Dio. Let's talk. My guest today is a multi-talented person. He's a writer. He's a journalist. He's a certified nutritionist, and he does magic. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Isaiah McCall. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Dio.
A pleasure, man. I'm happy you're here. What's going
Likewise.
on? What you been up to?
Everything's been good, man. Just trying to, push myself to be 1% better every single day. That's my goals. When I go to bed at night, I want to think like at least my 1% better today than I was yesterday.
That's what's up, man. That's motivation. That's hard work. So I've been doing some research on you. You got a lot of things going, man. You wrote a book not too long ago, right?
Yep.
You got certified being a nutritionist, right?
Mhm.
How was that journey like?
It's funny because I did the whole nutrition thing just off a whim. I was like, I made my book about the psychological benefits of working out because I always felt like people just thought, all right, I want to look good, I want to look sexy, but it's like, I feel like it comes a lot in the head too. So it's like you'd see people, they change their whole mindset when they got into good shape. So I was like, all right, let me do like a mindset thing, how people talk about it. And along the way, I was like, you know what, I guess to make myself like learn more, I'll just like start learning about nutrition too. So I got certified as a nutritionist, and now I don't even use it for anything, which is funny. I just have the certificate and just like put it in my closet. Yeah, I haven't used it since.
But you can though, right? Like you just
Yeah.
gotta you will have to like just work towards that.
Yeah, I definitely could. I just signed up for a new gym, so it's funny. They're always like trying to set me up, and I'm like, I don't want to brag, I got new nutrition certificate, never used it before, but funny.
How was that transition writing the book? Like
It
how
was
long did it take you?
took me probably like 3, 4 months. I mean, for 3, 4 months, all I
Wow,
did,
really?
yeah, maybe, yeah, 3 months, I'd say. All I did was I'd make like two peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'd go up to my room after like running and working out, and I would just sit in my room and I would just eat those PB and J's and just write like the whole time. Yeah, so it was. I didn't realize at the time, but it was just like I was in like just a zone of just like running, working out, and writing, and that was it. And it was honestly the best time of my life. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
only 4 years old, but it's good.
24?
Yeah, only 24.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, 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 wait. So you're 24 and
yeah.
you've had all these accomplishments that are uh, um I have a good friend, Eli Elmon Woods. He just published his book and he's like, I think almost 40, right? So you're
Mhm.
only 24 and yet you have smashed all these goals.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like a wall too, because you do something. And when I was doing all this, I realized afterwards, and people would say it too. They're like, "Dude, when you run these long distances, how do you do more after
Mm-hmm.
that?" And it is kind of tough because it's like, damn, it's like I do it, and then you get into a zone. And when you cut back, you're like, oh, now like the mental like barricade in your head, you're like, fuck, and I got to run more miles and more miles and like it's like now I'm like looking like, oh, how do I release a book that's better than the last book? So I think it's
Yeah.
always pushing yourself, wherever you're at, because like 2 years ago I was basically broke, like didn't really work out much and like did like it was complete opposite of everything. So I think it's really just comparing yourself to who you were yesterday.
That's what's up, man. What's you because I first met you at jiu-jitsu at Pro Cell. Shout out to the Professor Pro Cell.
Love that place.
Yeah, me too, man. I love it. I saw you, right? And you had this like David Goggin type of vibe. And I'm like, I should like, damn, like he reminds me of somebody. And I'm like, who does it remind me of? And like it clicked David Goggin. And I think I've asked you, I said, you're on some David Goggin shit. I said something like that. And you're like, yeah, man, that's my idol. Like,
Yeah, I
how
love it.
much influence does David have on you? Like
Tremendous.
hashtag soul taker.
Yeah, I like when you say that because I'm like, that is the coolest thing that you could ever say is taking somebody's soul. When he said that,
Yes.
that is awesome. It's like even to think about it and just like feel think about, oh, it just means a person. To me, like when I was doing training for long runs, I would do hill runs all the time, and I would think like you're taking the soul of this hill right now. Like you look at the hill,
Yes,
like,
yes.
I'm gonna beat this hill. I'm not gonna let it be the other way around. So it was that guy. There's probably like a few people I can say that about, like that I haven't met, that I've only listened to and whatnot. But he is like 100% changed my entire life. Like listening to that guy and hearing him, and it's because my dad was in the army and he was playing a
Mhm.
podcast one day, and it was with David Goggins like maybe a year ago. And I was like, oh, who's this guy? Like cursing, blah blah blah. And I started listening to my own. I was like, wow, this guy's story is
Yes. I
awesome. Yeah.
I I purchased the audio version of "You Can't Hurt Me," and
Hmm.
so far I haven't. I'm like I want to say 2 or 3 hours like until I finish the whole book, but I keep like I would have finished a long time ago, but I keep just rewinding back, right? Because it's so interesting and so good. Like I love the podcast version of it. So they give you a chapter and then they'll break it down in a podcast. So it's him and the writer, and you could get a little bit more in depth of what he's trying to give you in the story, man. And it's so motivating. It's so inspiring, bro. Like to hear him like have broken feet and try to be a Navy SEAL and hear the shit he had to do to accomplish and smash that goes like a regular person wouldn't do that, right? And
Yeah.
then but a regular person will sit there and analyze it, you're crazy. But it's like when when you have a goal in mind, you're willing to do anything that's possible to get to that goal.
Mm,
And that's
yeah.
what I felt when the first time I saw your I'm sorry I botched the name. Running to something with Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
What's the name of it?
And that was just a YouTube video for the book. It was I forget what it was called. Running 30 miles with like
Mm.
Morgan Freeman, something like that. And I got like this Morgan Freeman impersonator to like overdub the overdub the video. He was doing a motivational speech. And I was like, it was just I like that's kind of what I wanted to do with my book, to make it funny, make it
Hmm.
motivate. You can't just go one route on one thing,
Yeah, yeah. Well, when I saw it for the first time, I just like it reminded me of David and the book and whatnot. So I was like, that's fucking dope. That's highly motivating.
Yeah, no, David definitely taught me that his actions, it's like so simple, but it's like it's especially in this world where you have people talk all the time and
Hmm.
what they believe in and what they want to say. And you go to like dinner with friends and they'll talk about stuff they don't even know what like, oh yeah, this is about this, and they haven't even done it yet. It's like you
Hmm.
do realize that there comes a point where it's like you separate people from people who've done things and people who just talk all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like I see him a little myself and David in a sense, not as extreme as him, but I understand and where uh what you're saying. People like to opinion and talk about things, but yet
Yep.
they don't pull the trigger and do it. You know,
Hmm.
like I think that's something that's characteristics that we all should have in
Yeah.
ourselves to be able to better ourselves and just progress forward.
Yeah, I think especially for like guys, I know so many. I don't know how girls are doing. I have two sisters, but I
Hmm.
like a lot of my friends that I graduated college with. It's like guys that get so trapped in the world because they just don't know what to do anymore. It's
Hmm.
like for free, you got to be like David Goggins. You got to be a beast. You got
Hmm.
not a beast. You're gonna get so weak. You're gonna get fat. You're gonna get stupid.
Yeah.
And like I like that Goggins calls it like it is. It's like those words hurt, but man, you'll see some crazy stuff from people like when they actually do make that mind switch and you see them transform. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I definitely I like what he does. He runs. He's not like one of these power lifters that just pick shit up and put them down.
Yep.
It's more than that, and that's why I think I've become a big fan of that. It's because sometimes it's you run, you go on this long mile runs, you go on these heavy workouts, but it's you're able to control your mind and push yourself. A lot of these people just at least and no offense to them, but let's just lift shit up and put them down and try to get this, this massive huge of mass, and can't fit in a fucking door or something like that. But I like when I do stuff like that, like when I go jiu-jitsu or when I run or work out in a sense, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to challenge myself. I'm trying to control myself. I'm trying to reach forward, you know, and gain some, mental balance. And
Yeah.
that's what it does for me.
No, I mean, when I think about what you're just saying, is I see so many people at the gym, they just stay on the machines. They don't, I know a friend that he won't squat, or they won't do like any functional
They're all
movements.
day in the bench pressing all damn day. They
Or
only build up the chest.
no legs, no nothing. And you're just like, you got to do. So the squat, I swear to God, the squat rack, that you come out a different man every time you use the squat rack. Like
Yeah.
separates the men from the boys for sure. And it's like you can't just sit on the ab machine and expect to get a six pack. Like
Yes.
it's hard stuff, and it's not easy. I mean, it's. I believe in this one thing. It's like the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, because you just got to know who you could be, and that's the most afraid thing for me personally. It's like I used to think like, damn, like doing this running thing is scary, but like I'm more scared of that I won't like achieve the goal. Basically,
Yes.
people terrify the shit out of me.
I cannot agree more. That's what sometimes keeps me up at night.
Mm,
Like I have night terrors, and it's like I get up sweaty, I can't sleep, I get anxiety, is because my mind is like going like fast forward into things I really want and goals I want to achieve. And I get the anxiety because what if I don't have enough time? What if I'm not putting the enough work in and giving that enough focus or dedication to what I'm trying to do?
mm.
So that gives me night terrors, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy world. It's fast paced, man. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
feel for people that can't figure it out all the time. It's I do wish everybody had more of a path, but it really
Mm-hmm.
just not 1%. Like I really do. That's like the core of everything I believe in. Just the 1%. Just do one.
Yeah.
Just do a tiny bit better. If people could do that, it's like there you go.
Yeah. I like it's but it's society. People are weird, right? People are
Mm,
super weird. Like we have all these same similarities and connections and problems. We all have them, so we're all able to understand one another, but yet we choose not to and become something that's supposed to be so connected is really so disconnected in a
mm.
sense. And we're all, and so we, instead of uniting, we all go our separate ways or unfocused in a sense.
Yeah, I think one thing I like to think about too is paying attention to what that kind of gives you, some kind of meaning in a way. I think a
Yeah.
lot of times like distraction on the phone, distraction on this, and it's a lot of superfluous like bullshit that like is in front of everybody's lives all the time. And if you
Yeah,
pay
man.
attention, it's really simple stuff. A lot of times they'll give you, like, for me, it's like all I like doing really now is like reading, writing, and working out. And that's really and like sure it's
Yeah.
like more like jujitsu is like on top of that, but like that stems from working out or like
Hmm.
something.
Yeah,
It
that's
all
just an add-on. That's just another form of working out. So it falls
mhm.
under that category.
It's always basic primal stuff.
Hmm.
That's really it. I mean, you don't have to make everything so more complicated. I mean, people think like politics and shit is going to bring them like, oh, this is what I need, and it's so weird that it's just like it's really this small and
Yeah.
like very just like tight connect. It's like really primal connection.
Yeah, man. Politics. Listen, man.
Uh,
Politics. The origins of politics is being popular. You want to be liked. You
mm,
know,
yeah.
you'll say anything or do anything to be liked, right?
Yep.
So it goes like when they're going on these campaigns, they're making programs to make them like you,
Yeah.
and maybe like in me personally, my experience, I'm not a very popular person. Like it's difficult for me to connect with people.
Mm,
Like, some days I'm able to be sociable and say what's up. And that's me pushing myself,
mm,
but then, I'm also a person that will sit in a corner and analyze the room and see this
mm,
and this and this. And, I'll shut myself down because it's like I feel sometimes I have to compromise.
mm.
And the shit is, I like being who I am. I don't
Yeah.
want to be popular. I don't want to be. I don't care if somebody likes me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what motivates me to get up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yet, you know, I've come to terms as I've gotten older, and I became a father, and you it's important to have these social gathering and being social and be able to have a speak to one another and have this dialogue, and where that you know you never know who to get you further.
Yeah.
And
For
that
sure.
things and I think, like, for me, like, I'm trying to overcome that slowly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to be your friend because I want something from you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be your friend because I think you're a fucking badass motherfucker. I think what
It's a
you're
good way to
doing
be
every
friends.
fucking day is fucking awesome.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
think if we become friends, we can learn from one another.
Yeah.
And
No.
that's the type of person I am. But then majority of society, right? In my opinion, because I'm open to being wrong, right? And society's like, you fake it till you make it, and you make people like you
Yeah.
because you want, uh, something in return.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
I
I was.
agree.
Yeah.
Stemming back from leaving the politician thing, I think about this rapper Tyler Creator says like the loudest person in the room is lonely, and I think it's true. It's just like these people are just trying to. I really do have respect for quiet people. I mean, I'm kind of one myself. I
Mm-hmm.
remember and being at usually like at parties when I was younger, I would be like extroverted, but really it's because I was just so anxious about like talking to people, and I wasn't
Yeah.
like being quiet because I thought I had to project something onto them. And it wasn't until like I started to find that balance between the two where I started to feel like more comfortable as myself. But it is just a lot of distraction, a lot of for people, especially like now, in the days of like Instagram and having to be like this certain type of person. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Or having to be, like I even think like, it's great to have like dreams and aspirations to be like a YouTuber, but you got to put work in, you got to do stuff, and it's like it's so much. Yeah, it's a lot of just very easy, like what's the easiest path to success for a lot of people now. And a lot of people they take, I feel like the wrong. I think that your influences play a big deal. That's why, like, I love people like David Goggins. It's like if you're getting influence from like these TikTokers all the time, and you think you got to be loud and obnoxious, and like, hey, you're not gonna like strengthen your character.
No, definitely, because it's like you're selling yourself short. Like, example, like I'm able to, this podcast here, I'm able to monetize it, right? Like
Hmm.
everybody else. But then, I've been approached for some like advertisement, to be able to monetize it. But with the product they're giving me, you know, I can't allow it. It's not what I believe in. So yeah, I guess it goes back to my values, not cutting myself short or selling myself short, right? So people up in that sent to me with some shit to put on to make quick money. I was like, no,
Yeah,
because I don't believe in it. And a lot of these influencers, right?
yeah.
That's what they do. That's what
Oh
they
yeah.
push forward. Um, I remember, I'm a little like way older, like I'm gonna be 32 now in August, right? I,
Awesome.
I grew up in Puerto Rico in a place I call home, and it was no hope, right?
Mm,
No hope. And back then, it was only actors that were famous, or people that did music. That's really is, or like local news, popular. Now you have a fucking traffic, and where there's an IG famous, YouTube famous, Facebook famous,
yeah.
movie famous. What else? So many fames and shit. This it's become this large traffic,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it kind of um yet again gives you're not focused. That lens you have as eyes is blurry. It's not
Hmm.
showing you what's real. So like you'll go on YouTube and you constantly see these ads. You want to make a 100,000 a year, right? You want a
Yeah.
Bugatti, you want a Lambo, right?
Mm,
And they're teaching you quick money, right? Quick money, make quick money, but what people don't understand, that's their hustle. That's not
Yeah.
yours. So
Oh yeah.
they're telling you all this shit to they're making the money, not you. Because in reality, everything you do takes time and dedication. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's like my brand, Dream Inspire, saying that's all I want to do. Right now, it's not going to make me money. It's the long run. That's I'm banking on, right?
Mm. Yeah. No, it's hard to find people to trust. Coming back to even what you were saying, even with that advertisement, it's like because I know so many YouTubers, especially I guess I don't know if they're Instagram influencers or whatnot. They're always just, like copying someone or ripping something off, or like or they're plugging something that's completely against, or it's like completely 100% clickbait without any kind of substance. And you can't. It's hard, and that's why I think it's really about strengthening, and it isn't caring like coming back to again, it isn't caring about all this heavy superfluous shit like politics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's strengthening, finding the best friends, having friends that I don't someone said this, I think it was a rapper, but he said like having friends that you truly feel you can brag about, like having friends that you're like, damn, that guy pushes me. Like I to be able to say that as a person, as a human being, and that's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing thing to say.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican too.
Oh yeah, Boricua, Bobby.
I speak no Spanish though.
Ah
I'm
shit.
half black, half Puerto Rican. My mom speaks fluent Spanish.
Then you full Puerto Rican because Puerto Ricans we black.
Oh
That's what
yeah, there you go. There you go.
that's what a lot of people don't get. We the same race, we the same kind.
There you
That's
go.
what's up, my brother. There you go.
Yeah. And I was just there like a couple of years ago. I was thinking about moving there in the future too because I was
Yeah.
like taxes, low property. It doesn't cost that much to live there. And I
Yeah,
can,
right now the island is suffer. It's still suffering a large deficits. I just finished doing a podcast, which I think it's out this week with Leslie Perez. She's a talented Puerto Rican artist. And we were talking about just a little bit like the politics over there, the people, and just the islands in general, man. Like I went like after 10 years, I went when I turned 30. It took me 10 years and my wife dragging me to go back. Right.
damn.
Because like I said in her podcast, I'll say it here again, like I felt like I needed to, if I'm gonna return here, I need to become somebody or someone. I need to have fucking mad money. And I realized being there, like I was so stupid because I am somebody. I became somebody. I'm a dad. I'm a father. And just being there with my son somewhere I grew up where, all I had was basically, my fist because everything was I had to fight for it to gain respect. It's I guess that's why sometimes it's difficult for me to interact with a regular person from over here, right? And I was there with my son, and the woman I called mother who raised me, my grandmother, was just holding my son, and I wish I would be able to understand that moment so long ago. That would have been back fucking years ago, you know. But
Yeah.
it's one of the things you have to live and learn and get to a point in your life so you're able to digest that information and grow.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot happened from going there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like it's a lot, man. Like I grew up in a big house, right? But yeah, we were poor. And what people struggle with nowadays, like living here, it's like it's difficult for me. I'm able to survive with no light and water. I sleep like a baby. Shit.
Yeah.
People here lose their phone and that's it for them. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it for
Mm-hmm.
them. And I it's to be able to continue to live a lifestyle in this time frame has made it difficult for me because I had to become accustomed. Now, I have to like I'm a very raw person. I'm very truthful. I'll tell you how it is, right? And it's hard because now you got to watch out with everybody's fucking feelings. And I say this all the time. It's like you should never ignore your feelings, but you should never let it consume you, because little do you know, your feelings is what's stopping you from being that great person, from getting up in the morning, doing something, going at it. Right. So,
Yeah.
but yet again, the government here, that's what it promotes. They'll do anything and everything to fucking give you a pill, another pill, go pop it, go get yourself numb in front of the TV. Right.
Yeah.
And, it's so clear as water, but yeah, it's you if you don't see it, it's because you don't want to.
Yeah. Now, there's this great book that I read called Brave New World, and it's the same. People think, that the government, all these people, they would do stuff to like, it would be like by pain, it'd be by force. They would make everybody like, like listen to them. But it really is through pleasure, man. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the hardest thing to do now is like to deal with all the pleasure, deal with like the fact that I could just DoorDash like tons of dessert. I could like get all the drugs I want. I could look at all the pornography. And it's just like it's so much pleasure around here. And it really is, that's the first time in human history, like we're not, you got to deal with like all this stuff and all this overabundance of things. And that's why I think it's like everybody's become so soft, and it's become now it's the feeling stuff, and you do feel like kind of like sad for people. It is so much you got to deal
Yeah.
with. Like McDonald's right around the corner from me,
Mm-hmm.
that you can get like as many cheeseburgers for $1 as you want. So I do feel that, even tying it back to what you were saying about Puerto Rico, it's like it's really strengthening your family ties, strengthening where you came from, strengthening that foundation. It makes it a lot easier to go. This world does not have the materialistic world does not have the answers for you.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm in high. I'm like, I'm a high believer that, like, if you come from any any country, right, and you move here and you have kids and they become Americanized, and those kids become Americanized and their kids become Americanized, like, I feel like it slowly kills your heritage, your culture,
Yeah.
right? So like you'll approach somebody that's, let's say, example, Japanese, and you're hold on. So you'll take like a Japanese kid, right? That looks like he's from Japan, and you go to approach him and speak Japanese, and he'll speak to you perfect English,
Mm.
right? Because
Yeah.
like, as the year progresses, like, you know, there's no, if you try to create your own like culture around your surroundings, they'll quickly try to criticize you, or do some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about like the American dream? 'Cause I know it's kind of like to make one united kind of a culture. And I think even a lot of times I was speaking to a Mexican girl this week, and I was telling her like, I come from Puerto Rico, or like my family's from Puerto Rico, but I don't speak any Spanish. And I could tell she was even kind of like disappointed in that. So I could tell, I think my mom kind of came from the basis of, make them
Mhm.
more American. So I don't know what you think about that.
Well, it's difficult, because, like, the United is in the name of United States.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You come here, you stand united. So meaning, if you're all united, you're gonna see people for all different culture.
Mm.
The problem is the people from here, you know, it's as fucked up as it sounds, it's understandable, because we as people, it's difficult to accept change. We don't like change,
Mm.
right? And sometimes change, it's scary. And for majority of us as people, we're scared of change. So, if especially if something's changing and I don't know about it, right?
Mm.
I'm gonna get skeptical. I'm gonna get defensive.
Yeah.
So that's when it becomes very chaotic.
Mm. Got it. I think
But
that is a lot what we see today too, is
mhm.
too much change at like an unprecedented kind of rate. and like accepting a ton of different things. And a lot of people don't have time to adjust. And a lot of people don't have that structure laid out for them yet.
Yeah, but that's once again, that's America's fault. You know, like America runs on a fast paced.
Mm.
You know, that's why so many, there's so, like, in my opinion, right? It's like so much obesity because you're here, you're working in New York, everything's 24 hours, right? You know, you sometimes you got to stay stuck working 16-hour shift. Then to come home, you got to quit. You haven't ate all day. You got to eat something quick. What's quick and affordable?
Yeah.
Fast food, right? So
yeah,
you'll go to sleep, go home, get home, get dressed, go straight to sleep. You have like 6 hours to get up and do it all over again.
Mm.
You know, that's why,
Yeah.
like, if you go to Puerto Rico, like, the days are longer. If you go to Florida, the days are longer. If you go any places like very like southern, sometimes the day is longer. You know, and you're able to enjoy more out of a day rather than, you know, a place like New York that is 24, 24, 24.
Yeah.
You know,
You go to New York and people don't even care. I've seen people bleeding out on the streets in New York before. I've seen people and people walking right by them. Nobody cares. I mean, you'll see it's just you're so jaded. And I don't think that's a good way to, you know, that's the direction that we're pushing in, I would say. But
yeah.
I don't think it is a good thing.
You know, but New York is like, they have New York, everything is big. So they have everything in your face. So you're mesmerized by all the lights and all the screens that you really don't know what's going on around you. Somebody could be fucking literally getting mugged right next to you, but you're like, you have all this shit in your face that you just don't, you know, see what's going on.
Yeah, and I remember this thing I heard. I think it was Socrates. He said the your appetite for pleasure, it's like bottomless. It's like you're just gonna keep if you keep chasing that route, you're never gonna find the answer at the bottom of like a bucket of fried chicken or something, or like a butt or whatever. It's like you just keep. It's gonna be more pleasure, more sex, more pornography, more eating, more of this, and there's never any answer. And like when you look at that conversely to like seeking out, and so I like that David Gunn like says it the way it is, like pain and suffering, because it really is self-induced suffering, which is like kind of the most fucked up thing for people to think about. Because usually back in the day, it's like hundreds of years ago, it'd be like, oh, we're just gonna have to like fight to get our food and whatnot. But now it's like you do have to self-induce it, which I think is messed up, but it's the way it is. You gotta create that primal instinct in you again.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's so soft.
Yeah,
You know, look at the army. It's a lot of in the army. There's a lot of like people that they're in Afghanistan, but they're like in computers and shit. Back then, the army wasn't like that. Everything was physical. It was just like either get your shit together, shoulder, or you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, the army got
You
real.
know,
When I was in the army for the little bit that I was in it, it was way different than most people expect it to be. It is a lot. Nobody was in good shape. And this is
yes,
talking about the army. Like we're not talking about the Air Force, where like the Air Force is like it's the standard is like you're supposed to not be really in good shape, to be honest. Like the
yeah,
army, it's like when the army's not in good. I think special forces they're scared they're not going to have anybody like in a few years' time.
yeah, yeah.
They get everybody from Texas and that's it. Like they can take people from like the back country, but in the cities, it's like there's no.
No, it's definitely it's the way of living now. That's
Yeah.
why every time, you know, any country speaks about America, they try to like to bash on us. We're going
Yeah.
soft and shit.
Yeah. They're not wrong though. I couldn't believe it. I think it was 50% of black women are obese now. And I was just like, this is crazy. I was like 1 in 2. I was like, I just couldn't believe that. I think it all stems too from sometimes you got like toxic for at least black people. I've always been saying this is like, especially with our food choices. It's just like, we're eating a lot of slave food, to be honest. It was always like I know people would say stuff like, oh, you know, fried chicken's part of the culture. My grandma would say stuff or like cook the collard greens with like the pork or whatnot. And it's just like, it would, there's like I guess even going back to what you're saying about culture before, there's things to pick and choose out of it, right?
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
that makes it sustainable.
How did you get into journalism?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Let's see. I went to a college, Ramapo College up in North Jersey, and when I went there, I went with like the idea of like my parents were like, you got to go to college, there's nothing. And I also just didn't know what to do after that. I was like, I graduated high school. What are you going to do? So I went there and I was undeclared for 2 years. I transferred to Kane University for a year because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to like try teaching or something like that. My parents are both teachers. I was thinking like phys ed. I was like, I'll do phys ed, at least I can like move my body. So, but after a while, I joined up this. I saw the journalism club was there like one day, like junior senior year, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess these like kind of seem like some cool guys. Like they seem like a bunch of nerds. I always feel like I had like an affinity of nerds. I grew up like playing video games and stuff. So I'd be like, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's try it out. And after that, I kind of just always feel like I liked expressing my voice. I always feel like I could do it in like a kind of like I don't know, like outsider kind of way. Like I was just like, I noticed when people would always be super structured with their essays. They'd be like, beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd always be like, I would just write the same way that I talk. So I would just like, it would always be so janky and weird, but I would always like just have fun with it. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing that. And I would get in so much trouble at journalism school. They'd be like, you got to do it this way, blah, blah, blah. But eventually I found a way to like, marry the two. And I was just like, you know what? Okay, this is cool. So I started working as a journalist right out of college, and I realized I hated that, and then started my own publication, my own blog with one of my friends.
That's what's up. I wanted to become a journalist, but just time. Once you become a parent, it's different. Priorities and providers. It's the most important part,
The industry could use more people like you, man. Because I mean, you are a journalist in your own way. Like doing this, like this is all the future of journalism, right?
Yeah, because I can't write for shit.
Like I'm telling you, this is the future of journalism right here. Is people, just indie people, just doing their own thing and spreading messages. Because journalism's just a loss. Like you can just look.
Yes.
Corporate media, and you're like, oh,
everybody just Google shits. That's it.
Everybody gets their news from YouTube. They get it from Twitter. They get it from Reddit, whatever. Like all these other different places, and nobody's going. Like when my parents were watching the news back during the pandemic, and they were watching like NBC, CBS, I was like, "You're just watching propaganda,"
Yes. I started when I first started. I started as a blogger, right? I have my website, dreaminspiredtoday.com, and I just wanted to write articles, motivational, but also things that matter, but keep it in a positive light. And I realized I don't have the time to sit down and fucking write. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I don't have the time, that's why I'm a big user of audiobooks. I don't have time, especially when I have a toddler running around, to sit down and read a book. I don't have time for that. So, I use the next best thing to, get where I want to go. And then, it wasn't working out. So I said, fuck it. I opened up, I made it into like a clothing shop. I got a couple of tees there that I sell. And I just added on, the podcast. So if anybody's listening, you just go to my website and you can download for free. And that's it. And this is what I've been doing. The podcast, it's something I've always wanted to do. And it's just, I wanted it to be so fucking perfect. High production, but like I'm fucking broke. Right.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that like, this is not me. I contemplate too much. I'm thinking that's not me. I gotta do. And, fucking January came 2021 and free version of fucking Zoom, affordable mic stand, a green screen that I had for the longest. Started doing
green
it.
Screen's dope. Yeah, I love the green.
Yeah. I just started doing it. Say fuck it, let's do it. Sometimes my words are gonna slur. Sometimes I'm gonna say shit you won't understand. But I can't continue to seek this perfection I've never reached. So if you look from my first episode to this episode, the change. But that's something I want to document. I wanted to leave a vivid imprint that when it comes to progress, you start from nothing and you slowly create something.
Yes.
And So, I totally get when it comes to I understand where you come from with your journalism part.
Man, you could have fooled me though. I thought you were doing this for years, honestly, the podcasting thing.
No, man. No.
Testament. I was like, oh, he's got the green screen. I was like, this, and I was like, oh, wow, this is real professional. I was like,
Nah,
damn,
bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a story, right?
oh, let me hear it.
I used to have a friend that, just life just separated us, right? And sometimes you outgrow people, and that's good. It's nothing bad to him and nothing me. I wish him well. But I used to, I started this company, which if you go on YouTube and look for, I used to be really into Batman. I'm still Batman fan, right? So so I did this fan film that's called Batman Cacophony, based on Kevin Smith comic book. And I'm always telling him, yo, let's do this shit. Let's do this shit. Let's do this shit. Fuck it. Let's do this shit. And one day, I was a security manager, and that day I got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And I go home because I was renting the bottom part. And actually, he picked me up, and he looked at me. Fuck these people. I'm gonna take your advice. We've been telling me all this time. You told me, and let's do the fan film. And we did it. I put my heart and soul into that shit. I think I played 3 characters. I fucking invested mad money on designs, on catering, although I was fucking unemployed and broke.
Yeah.
To accomplish this, I helped with the editing. I helped with the audio engineering. I helped direct. I helped designing, and and nothing happened. Right. I was so naive and not able to own my creation. So he stood with it and he did whatever he did. And, I went on my own way. So I had the goal of, starting my own like production company, not knowing what the fuck to do, but just having a vision and I'm going to get this shit done. So, I started buying, like Zoom microphones and lighting equipment to just start off small and see what I can do. But then, life happens. You get married, you have a child, and those are things that don't stop you, but yet priority comes in. And you know what? Being a father, being a husband, my priority is to be a provider. As much as I love this dream and my passion, I know nothing about, but I just want to do. I felt in me that being a provider is more important than all these dreams. So as I got older, and I'm a person that sits down and literally, you see me spacing out, but I'm deep thinking, I'm analyzing this line and this line, and like and I started branching out to self-development and all this shit, and Joe Rogan was really him and a bunch of podcasts opened my mind to new and better ventures. And but once again, I want to do this, and it's taking too long. So I said, 2020 pandemic, I said, fuck it. I started recording. So I had all this years in play already.
Yeah, if the pandemic didn't tell people like you can do whatever you want to do, it's like I don't know what else they need,
Yeah.
I mean, to do what you did with the film earlier, like to me, like I always feel like life isn't like it's so fast paced. It's like a rat race. So it's like how you pause and let things happen.
And you need that, man. You need that. You need that. You need that desperately.
100%. You need to take some times and just shake it up and shake up life and be like, hey, you can do anything like you want. But if the pandemic didn't remind people about that, I don't know what will. I know people will say in 10 years from now, they'll say, damn, like that should happen, but I didn't do anything about it. Like, the whole world got stopped. I could have said, hey, I'm just going to do something else, but still didn't do anything about it. I mean, that got to be the the most like goddamn sad thing I've ever heard in my life,
Yeah, man.
Pursue anything.
And I just, I used to work this corporate job, suit and tie. I ran properties in 4 different states. I was, that job everybody wants,
Yep.
and we were able to part ways. The money that I was given, I invested it in what I'm trying to do, and I'm just going hard, man. And my goal is to not work for nobody. I don't want to work for nobody. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. And maybe it's me, right? Maybe I need to go see a fucking shrink. But I've been through so fucking much. Like, I know I'm a boss. I know I'm a king. And I don't want to anymore, man. I want to be able to sit down, like I'm sitting down here with you, and have this organic, amazing, deep conversation, and think about life, and not be wrong on point of views, but just have understanding that you'll be able to stand mine and I'll be able to stand you. Yeah. Because you gotta be honest with yourself. We live in a world that's everything's fucking texting, and now they're forcing you to video chat, and a lot of people now like to video chat while they're driving. It gets dangerous. The more simpler they get it, the more really dangerous it gets.
Oh yeah, for sure. After a while, it'll just be like a hologram in your car, or it'll be like some who knows. Then you just look at someone's head and you just telepathically send that to their head.
Yeah. And nobody should know your thoughts.
No, it's going in directions that who knows where it'll go. And it is, at least the thing is, it always comes down to, having that, like, don't take the books and the history and the people that are influential and smarter than you, like the Joe Rogans and the other people, like that foundation. You can't take them for granted, no matter how crazy the world gets.
And then they're just doing, there's no strategy. They're just doing simple things.
Oh yeah.
Like let's go back to David Goggin. Like, stop being fucking lazy, get up and do something with your life.
That's it. That's one.
That's one. That's one. Right?
That's a big one too. That's a big one.
I'm not asking you to fucking paint me a painting or something like that. I'm asking you to just get up for yourself and get healthy for yourself.
Especially for your family too. I know someone that says treat yourself like you're taking care of somebody else, because people just don't realize how important you are, like you are to your family, People just think, oh, whatever, it's just me. It is kind of hard. It is weird. It's so weird that we look at ourselves so much differently than we look at other people. If I saw my best friend treat himself like shit, I'd be like, dude, come on, get it together. What are you doing? Me, I just let it, I'll let it slide every now and then. I know it's like you're playing like tricks on yourself. This constant internal battle that everybody's going through. And the fact that everyone goes out and just, and nobody's like able to relate that, to people to say like, I know what you're going through, it's like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, that we all go through the same thing and we all know that, but yet it's so difficult to be kind.
Yes.
It's so difficult to say, hey man, you can do it. It's it's so difficult to show some support.
And much easier to be mean to people.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's why I wanted to do this. I just, like, I don't look for people who have large followings. I don't look for people who are trying to be a public figure or influence. I just want to see somebody. I just want to talk to somebody that's trying to get their life together and wants to do something, and just needs that support, or just needs somebody to say, hey, you can fucking do it. Dude, you'd be surprised how many times I inbox somebody on DM, or I like their pic, or I comment, you're fucking doing awesome, you're doing a great job. Or scratch that, when I say it in person, they look at me sideways, look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. If I got the same thing, I'd always be like, what? Like, you don't have anything mean to say to me?
No, you're weird.
Yeah.
You're weird. Why am I weird?
Oh my God, that's so funny, man. Yeah, people get so like conditioned to take just all the. It's just the world is it's a hard place. It creates hard people, you know. People,
Yeah.
it's hard. People don't have their, and it's a sad reality, but it does hit some people the right way. Sometimes that's what they needed to hear.
Yeah, man. And don't get me wrong, I could be a dick, man. You
Oh yeah,
know, there's that saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. But
yeah.
if you're gonna say something, make sure it's devastating. It's what is it? Not it makes it's clever and devastating.
Oh, clever and devastating. I never
And
heard them. Love
yeah,
it.
I saw it. I follow this photographer. She's very
Yeah.
talented. Her name is Julia Warren, and she posted it up. And I saw that shit, like my mind just blew. And I look at my son, it's like, that's what I'm gonna teach you. But
Yeah.
that's me right there. I'm gonna say some real shit. It's gonna make you think.
Hmm.
And most of the time I just try to be a goofball.
Yeah.
You know, I realize that I can't you can't take yourself too serious, man.
Oh man, that's another one of those. That's definitely a number two and three. It's like people they can't laugh at themselves. I mean, I don't know what it is. I've like tried. I'm thank God, that I've been blessed with that gift to be able to just laugh at my and be like, whatever. But
Yeah. I,
yeah,
like I said, it's something that I'm slowly trying to learn. Like I said, I grew up in a very difficult environment. Like the word gangster was real.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
this ain't no movie, it's real.
mhm,
DEA, fucking feds. It was real.
yeah,
And everything was respect. And as I gotten older, like I'm blessed to say, like, it's not that serious. And I don't want
mm,
it to be that serious. And that's why, like, another reason I joined jujitsu, because like it helps me self-control.
mm,
Like you're going, essentially you're becoming an assassin to choke somebody out, right?
yeah,
And yeah, your goal is not to do it. Is to
hmm,
be able to control the situation, control your emotion, control your body, control the environment.
mm,
So that's not even an option. So it's more intellectual chess.
yeah.
And I find that so like it hits me right here, man. Like it feeds my soul and shit.
Now, jujitsu is definitely philosophical in like a
Yeah.
deep kind of way. Yeah, there's more to it than just now we know. Yeah, you know how to fight. It's
Yeah,
just like
man. I study like I started watching the old, now that I'm doing it, I have a better understanding. I try looking. I do a lot of research on the OGs, the older people, the older gentlemen, like fucking Hansel Gracie,
hmm,
Kron Gracie, right? He's the
hmm.
son of thing Hansel Gracie, something like that. I apologize for my listeners and my viewers. I'm botching the name horribly. But he's the son of one of a great guy that does jujitsu. And I look at him, he does everything old school. He doesn't try to go and do these complicated moves, that these flashy moves that has gone throughout the years. People have evolved and it's all flashy and triangles and arm bars. He goes, old school, straight to the point. Chokehold, boom, got it. While everybody's trying to complicate doing these moves, he goes straight for the chokehold, with something that his father stole upon him.
Mm,
And I gravitate that so much, man, so much, and that's life. It's the
yeah.
struggle, then a calm, then the struggle, and then a calm. And
Mm,
and you gotta pick your poison, which one you want to enjoy.
yeah.
Like I love jujitsu because it's I feel calm in the chaos.
Mm, yes. I
I
think of
feel like
that biblical scripture. There was
yeah.
like some biblical where it was like I think it was like Jesus said, "Peace, be still," like something while
Mm-hmm.
he's on a boat. And it's like I agree. I feel thinking, like, oh, what does that mean? What is it? And just like you just walk through some crazy shit and like shit, just peace.
Yeah,
Like
man.
it's not really even happiness all the time. It's like I think the feeling to be attaining is peace.
Yeah.
For real.
Like we were rolling the other day, and you would try to hit me with an armbar, and I would just sit still.
Yeah.
Sit still. And that frustrates us. It doesn't matter if you're a black belt or white belt. It frustrates you because, like, for you to get to point B, you need me to do something in point A.
Yeah.
But if I'm calm in the struggle, the only person here struggling is you. I'm calm and collecting the chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
I need you to make a mistake first before I can do it.
Yes, and that's chess. I can't play it for shit. I'm stuck at the game. But essentially, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And you know, that's why these chess games take fucking 4 or 5 hours when you're in one of these competitions.
Yeah. No, but I think the world is like redefining what it means to be a man, and like that's why people like Joe Rogan are popular, Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, even you, man. Like I get like this has an audience and a purpose. It's like especially for men. I think men are lost. They don't fight. They don't know. They don't read. They're stupid. Like, and they're just like getting like beat down like in every facet of life.
Yes,
like,
man. Yes.
They need other men to talk to them and be like, this is what it's like now, because like the world is I mean, God, I'm glad I have 2 sisters and not 2 brothers, because like if I had 2 brothers, I know they'd be born into this pornography crazy shit.
Yeah, and it's but it's that's on us. We you know, that's one thing I've learned, that it's so easy to point fingers that it's nearly impossible to take responsibility for yourself, and that right there is on us, because me as a man, sometimes it's difficult to find the words to speak and describe what I'm feeling. You see, like when a man tells a story, it's where, what, and who, and what happened. Mm-hmm. Basically, when a woman tells your story, it's emotions. There's a lot of detail, description, how she felt, how the person felt, how they felt about the situation. It's a whole book. You know, I'm giving you more a comic book with some words and an image. They're giving me a fucking novel with a bunch of fucking chapter. That's something that happened in 5 minutes. That's why they're so fucking smart.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and it's on us that we're not able to communicate that. But as soon as we start communicating and speak to you and whatever, now we're gay.
Oh yeah,
we're a little bitch. You know, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but that's how men describe men.
That's what they say. Yeah.
So you know, if I'm not strong, if I'm not fucking bashing shit in or blowing shit up, then you won't pay mind to me.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm trying to talk to you, you totally ignore me. And that's the problem. We have to do a better job communicate, because women know how to communicate. They'll fucking flush you a tsunami wave of emotions, and we don't know how to understand. We don't know how to fucking gravitate to that. We get overwhelmed. We get fear. You know, and being a man, it depends where you at. It depends where you at in life. It depends where you at, where you're living. Because being a man in Africa is totally fucking different being a man over here.
Yeah.
You know, it's only one thing in common is if you're a man and you're married and you have kids, you go to be a provider.
Yeah.
And growing up, you know, when I used to see that, I'm a provider. Here's the check. I'm gonna take $50. I'm going to drink, and that's it. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me. For me, it's not that. For me, here's a check. What do you need help with? You need to take a 5-minute break, 10 minutes, an hour, fucking 5 hours of break for my son because you've been here all day. That's my job. You need help cleaning the house? That's my job. You need help cooking? That's my job. You need me to help doing laundry? That's my job. There's some days that you know, being an operation manager, I was gone nearly. I used to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, come out at 8 o'clock at night. And what do you need help with? You need him help me with the baby, get ready for bed? Need something to eat? You know?
Yeah.
It's being a jack of all trades.
Yeah, no, I say all this just as like someone who's trying to figure it all out now. But like I've been thinking this question too as you keep talking about it. It's like I wonder like what it's even like to have a kid. Like I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Who, me?
Yeah. Because I know but that is like that almost is like another like I feel like almost like a you can't even tell. I feel that separates people entirely.
I'm gonna tell you what I've learned, and I'm gonna say this before the internet scrutinizes me, right? I'm open to being wrong, for as long as you're able to educate me respectfully. I'm open to being wrong, right? So, being a dad, being a father, for me, it's that pinnacle of life, bro. It's the best fucking thing I've ever had. It's when I walk in the door and he's bro, he's this. I've never felt that. Somebody's so happy to see me,
Oh yeah,
you know?
it's awesome.
But it goes back to that saying that everything in life that's worth it is gonna come hard. Because my son's autistic, my son gets in these rampage, man, that will go on for hours.
Mm.
And it's difficult to maintain. You feel sometimes you want to blow your head. It's not easy. But when he's calmed down and we're able to calm him down and everything's okay, it's beautiful.
Mm.
Being a dad is constantly, for me, right? In my journey is constantly evolving in progress. If I want my son to respect me, I need to respect my son. If I want my son to give me my place as a father, I need to give him his place as a person. It's not all the time yelling and giving pow pow or putting in timeout. It's sitting down, have dog, and explaining to him why is it wrong. Because these are important things you need to start your kid developing so they can understand. So when they get mature and teenager, right, and they're going through all these fucking hormones like we went through, we have installed him listening and understanding and dialogue, and the transition can be much easier and not such an emotional roller coaster. Because you gotta remember, I'm not sure you, but like growing up, they used to tell, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And we got the parent got used to telling them don't do this, don't do that. As they grow older, the kid, I just got angry. Why do you want me to do this? I don't understand. And then when you take out your time and realize and try to explain to me, I don't want to understand. It's too late. I'm already a grown man. You can't teach old dog new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to, at least for my son, I sit down, when I bathe him, when I'm rocking him to sleep, when we're chilling in the couch, when I'm playing with him with his planes, I talk to him. I sometimes I don't even know if he understands me, but I'm being real with him. Like right now, my biggest thing is that he's not speaking, and I have to put him in school. And God forbid something happens to him, and he's not able to say it because he's not speaking. You know how scary it is.
Yeah.
Like as of now, me and my wife are trying to install him that like, no matter if you're good, wrong, or right, no matter what happens, we have to give that open door where you could come and talk to me. You never have to feel like we're giving you have to hide something from us.
Yeah.
You have to install that. And as parents, that's why I said we have to grow forward in progress, because, if they do something crazy, we can't always jump to reaction. We have to get the info and then make the decision on what happened, whether you're right or wrong. So, that's one of my biggest fear. And I'm just, every day I try to be like you, 1% try to be a little better. Every day I try to be a little better father. Because at some point we gotta accept as a parent, we're gonna fuck up our kids no matter what. There's something you did that you think it wasn't that bad, or you're gonna fuck them up no matter what. It's always something. It's always something. You can't help it.
Yeah.
You know, you might have,
We're
you know,
imperfect. We're all
yeah, you
imperfect.
might have not given him the right food, and that's it. That from that point, he doesn't want to eat that food, and you didn't
Yeah.
know. Like
Yeah,
that's facts. That's
that's
facts. You
true.
know,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that's how it is. Every day I wake up trying to be a little better. You know, like the other day he fell and he scratched himself, and because I had a meeting, I was sending a link to do, you know, like I do send the link, and I wanted to do it quickly. That for 1 second, I wasn't paying attention. He falling and he scraped himself, and I literally beat myself up for that because I'm always saying, you know, always these fucking phones on these phones, and one moment I'm on the fucking phone.
Yeah.
You know, thank God it was something small, not that serious, but it's just an eye opener. Now I know that this is when it's me and him, when it's daddy and son time, when we're playing. That's all. That's all I want. It's me and him. Now when mommy involved, now it's my job to communicate. Hey, mommy, I need to do something. Can you entertain while I go do something? So you know, him falling at her like he did last time doesn't occur. So big communication. It's fucking 99.9 of things of trying to be a good parent.
Mm,
You know, and that's what I try to do every fucking day, man. It's
mm,
hard, it's difficult, and sometimes it feels like, you know, and having a good support system. If you like, first of all, if one thing the pandemic has done, it's show you, you know, you, me, or anybody realize what kind of partner they have.
mm.
If you do not have a good partner, you probably won't have a good time being a parent, because this pandemic has shown taught us to show our true colors. And if you can't survive through a pandemic, life or death, you're definitely not going to survive uh, having a child with somebody,
Mm.
because it's 50-50. It's 100-100. It's something you have to be united and in team and in sync with, because a kid will try to play you, literally. It's like mommy said no, you go to daddy said yes. After my,
Mhm.
you know, like that's real. So
Yeah.
you definitely have to be in sync. That's your teammate, and that's something that doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and dedication. Boom, boom, boom. I would try and error until you get it. And the time you get it, you'll be lucky that when it's a team, you're able to team up with somebody and assess the situation. But
Mm.
is having a good partner. If you have family, like if you and your mom and your parents have a good relationship with you and your wife, and you need to get out to, you know, just have a night date out, date night or whatever, so you and your spouse can get in sync, and you have that support, that's even better. You know, my son is 4, and since he was born, it's just me and my wife. Me and my wife.
Wow.
There's been no family support. There's no be no babysitting, especially in the pandemic hit. Just me and her. You know, sometimes it's hard for us to reconnect, because 90% so much stress with businesses, raising a child, and other things. It's, you know, when you're in a stressful environment, it's hard to reconnect in any relationship. But you have that support system, and you have somebody you can trust. You know, like it's hard for me because I don't trust. If I don't trust nobody when I was single and had no kids, I definitely don't trust nobody now that I have a kid.
Mm. Yeah.
That's time and
Yeah.
effort. That's my future.
Mm.
That's my investment. You know, if you look at it business wise, that's my pride and joy.
Mm.
You know, especially like you said, you know, the time we're in is so fucked up.
Oh
With
yeah.
people's minds, you know, I'm very skeptical to leave my son with anybody.
Hmm.
So I'm very overprotective. But if you ever have that support, it'll make it a lot more easier and make it even more fun. You know, like having support, it's probably the best thing you can have if you're thinking of having a kid. But if you're doing a dolo solo, you know, on some Kevin Hart shit, one bed, one room, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. And there's a lot of single mothers that have 2 or 3 kids in America, and it's difficult for them. That's why they're so tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I probably have more advice to give you, but that's what I got so far.
That's amazing, man. That was amazing. I'll never forget that ever, especially as someone who definitely wants to have kids one day. I feel that's powerful advice I've ever gotten about the subject.
And yeah, man, enjoy them. Dude, this Sunday that passed was like I define happiness in moments, right? Because living that life, you want to be always happy. It's like you're going to go crazy because it's going to get boring. You need some type of up and down. You need that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had the most happiest moment of my life. I was in the park, Liberty State Park. I was my son, my wife. And, yo, he was running with that green grass, just running, like going crazy, being free. And my wife was just blowing bubbles, and he would just go and like, and yo, I took a moment to let that shit sink in, bro. Like, I think I nearly cried.
That's a beautiful thing. And man, that's a beautiful thing.
And like, you know, I said, this is why I wanted to get married. This is why I wanted to have kids. This moment like this, can able to enjoy that. Because you gotta remember, like you become a parent, you know, if you don't come from a wealthy parents, or you're not in a position in life that you know you could take months off and still make money, right? Bills still gotta get paid.
Mm-hmm.
The rent's due.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still have to go out and deal with fucking people's shit for a regular paycheck.
Yep.
You know, and you're not gonna have time for your kid. So like, it's fucking difficult. So in that moment, like, you know, it gave me like a reset, boom. Right. Sometimes we need that reset. And you know, it's like that's why I wanted to get married. That moment is why I wanted to have kids.
Mm.
And they're special moments.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't have to be that long or be, something grand, something significant, just that small little thing.
Yeah. That's, you know, like I think you said earlier in the conversation, like small things sometimes make a big difference.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I wish people knew. But I think people know that. I don't think people understand it. Like they've heard that before. But when they understand that and they say, yeah, all right. Just a small little tiny thing today.
And time. If you had time, you were rich. Time is
Amen.
time, man. Time. Enjoy your time wisely. You know, I grew up, like I said, I grew up with older people. I have an old soul because I grew up with old people.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and I was able to understand time. Mm-hmm. So when this like my grandfather, God rest his peace and soul, man. He would sit down in the like a rocking chair in the porch all fucking day. But that was like the best time of his life. He worked so fucking hard and provided support for so fucking many people in my family. Mm-hmm. That him sitting peace and quiet, rocking back and forth, bro, that was the best time of his life. And he enjoyed every fucking minute of it. Every minute of it. You know, you worked so hard and now you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah. Wow. I wish we had more respect for older people here, because in Japan, other Asian countries, they know how much wealth of knowledge they have. So every time my grandma, she's like developed, she's in the beginning, she's like 90 years old, beginning stages of Alzheimer, but I still try to listen to her, anything she's got to say. Cause it's just like, it's a whole lifetime. I can't even think, like 24 years old feels like a long time for me. People are like, I have nothing to compare it to, but it's like, I love it when people are like, they're 40, 50, they're like, oh, you're so young. I'm like, but I'm just like, that's why I love learning from these people. 90
Bro,
years old.
you want to gain knowledge? Go work at a senior living.
Whew, yeah.
It's gonna break your fucking heart. I used to work at the senior living, and you had people with money, people who travel the world, people who won Grammys.
Wow.
Never going to, they never visit them. They get treated like shit. And like when you got money, they have like properties on the facility where you live. Like if you're living in your own house, called villas, and like if your money starts to go, your money starts to go away little by little, the little the box you go in. So you went from this house, now you went to a room, and then the room gets smaller, and so you end up in a room that only fits one bed.
Wow.
And then you end up fucking in the dirt in a smaller room.
Yeah. That's no way to treat somebody, especially someone that lived a rich life like that.
But it's, let's go back to that thing that like you live your life focused on money, and you forgot everything around you, and your sole goal is to earn money, big money, because when you grow up, that's what told you, you need money. That you lost the worth in anything, and you think you could buy anything with money, and you can't.
Yeah,
and you lost everything.
I pray we don't abandon our traditions and lose, because I've been listening to these biblical lectures recently, and I realize that people, as much as they love to criticize these religious fundamentalists, it's like the way that we're trending in our society might make these religious fundamentalists seem completely sane by comparison. If we just abandon our old people, if we just fall to seduction, for not all this like craziness, and we alter our bodies in horrible, crazy ways. It's like we do all these tons of things. We'll make those like, and it's not to say like they're right or wrong, but it's like we'll make them literally seem like everything they were doing was just like so much more sane. It's just like we're going towards a crazy path, man.
Yeah. I read on Instagram. See, now the news now you get on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I know.
I saw somebody posted Russia dropped the US dollar.
Oh,
and
Thomas from Jiu-Jitsu just showed it.
Yeah, like the war is coming to an end.
Yeah. It's a lot is happening all at once. It's too much information. It's we're in the pick and choose what's important to you. Pay attention. It's like it's usually the simple things. It's just
and just keep stock and live life. If people just live their life, you got, well, you should know because you're a journalist. You get this shit all day, every day. You got these people that go down to the fucking rabbit hole.
You meet some crazy people.
Yeah, and they go through a rabbit hole and like they get like schizophrenia and some shit like.
Oh yeah.
And just like I used to get like that. Like I at one point, I think not too deep. I just started listening to like I find it like entertaining to hear that shit.
At this point, I mean, I had a family dinner the other, like maybe a few weeks ago, and I was like, what people aren't like thinking at least somewhat conspiratorial minded? And to be honest, it's not really a bad word. I don't see it as like a negative. It's like the world, you see all the stuff that's going on, you see all the information, all the outpouring of stuff. Like, how are you not going to think, it's just things are just weird, crazy, out of hand, and corrupt. It is that way. And
it's always been that way.
I know. I think that too a lot of times. Like, am I 24? Like, were other people thinking this, like 50 years ago? And I think it's like, or is this like moment special? Because I know everybody always likes to say like this moment in time is special. And it's like, really, if you do examine history, you do find there's like a through line of just stability. You got to be stable even through all the craziness. Like, if it was.
Let me ask you something, right? So get like, I want to bring to you like another perspective, right? So, everybody's like, they're so obsessive, owning shit and protective, and like people with money, right?
Mhm.
And like, I want to ask somebody different, right? So like, if you were a person, right, that had nothing, and you slowly build this fucking $1 billion empire, and you slowly build all these connections, and you're influenced by trauma and heartbreak, right? And you get to a point that, you know, I don't want to say the president, but you're some powerful influence. And every day you get people trying to threaten you and take away everything you ever build. And when they're on with the understand that you're only doing this because you want them a better life, right? But every day you threaten somebody trying to demolish everything you built. So now you get defensive. Being all that said, right? Wouldn't you feel the same thing as, let's say, I don't know, who's a fucking $1 billion influencer, like, no,
Elon
like,
Musk.
like Elon Musk, right? Wouldn't you get defensive? Like he will get defensive and start influence, you know, people in higher power to find a better way. Like, because of me, like when I'm earned, like I tell people, I don't like people coming to my house, right? Everything in there, I fucking work my ass for. I'll be damned if somebody trying to get that shit, take some that shit away from me, right? I'll be
Yeah,
damned.
yeah.
It's the same concept of somebody who's a billionaire
Mm-hmm.
that is influenced by trauma and fear.
Yeah.
Right. If, you know, I had people coming at me and taking shit, try to take shit away from me, I feel the same fucking way.
Mm.
So I guess my question, if you were gone through the similar things as somebody that has become a billionaire, wouldn't you feel the same way?
So are you saying in terms of people like revolting, or in terms of people like changing the social like fabric to like better suit them than the billionaires? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Got it. To like, okay. Yeah, I see, this is the thing, and it's like and I know it's like it's weird. It's like, especially going to college now, it's like people are very quick to like say they love socialism, they love Marxism, and it makes sense to like, you know, like everything you earned, like the, yeah, give it. Yeah, I'm not that way at all. Like, and I came from a college that, and it's weird to like think that this is all it is, college, in my opinion. Now it's just espousing those kind of perspectives, because on paper, sure, they make it's like you want people to just like, you know, be close together. You want people to basically just you be like a family, like a giant family. But really, and I get this a lot from the Bible too, which I've been reading a lot lately. It's just like your family is like an intermediary thing. It's like a very tight knit thing. You don't try to change the world before you change yourself, and you change your brother, and you change your father, and you don't, I can't change the entire system. And I think people look at it in a reverse way now, where it's like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they're complete scumbags. They're capitalists. They must have killed a bunch of people to get where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to reverse the system to make it a better place without them thinking first, let me just get out of bed, make myself a stronger person, strengthen my family, and then go from there. So I think a lot of it is like you got to look at things in the particular and not look at things in this huge wide conglomerate. Because once you generalize somebody, you can like kill them almost. I can say
Yeah.
Elon Musk is part of the rich. He's part of the white patriarchy, and that's my problem even with black people in general. It's like a lot of my, you know, relatives. It's just like, it's like, let's just like try to fix our own family problems.
Yeah.
You know, like we got people with diabetes. We got people like in my family. I got people that lost their foot, you know, because of diabetes and all this shit. And all we want to do is like credit, and it's like, fine, these places have.
You know what's the problem with that right there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you have, you know, it's devastating when you come to realize you can only save yourself. You know, you could take a horse to water to drink water, but you can't make him drink water,
Yes.
right? So the same thing comes with families. The same thing comes with friends. Like I'm gonna give you like Dream Inspire Team example. You know how many times I've tried to inspire people to fucking do shit, but it's like, you know, their head knocking on wood, you know, and like I had this. I'm not gonna say a name, but I had this meaningful conversation yesterday with somebody. It's very important for me. But you know, despite the person doesn't want to get their shit together, right? I told him, like, you know, have you ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yep. Love
Right.
that
So
book.
what? Me too. So one of the lessons they teach is like, um, just because you have money, you can't come and invest with me because I'm on a higher level. Right. Same thing. If I'm getting myself out of the gutter, I'm trying to take you with me. Come with me. But I'm here. If I'm here dragging you with me, now you just become that weight because you're not getting it.
Yeah.
So now, you know, I can't save you. I got to save myself. And that's what people say. Now you're selfish. Now you're a piece of shit. And blah, blah, blah. And they don't see that all this time I've been trying to get you with me. So now you go and save yourself and you become something of value within society, the world, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah.
Now, is either they want you to come down to them and help them, or they want to live off of you. Right? It's like, just the example, Nipsey Hussle. He was an icon with his community, but the people in his community was the one who killed him.
Oh yeah.
Right. So why? So like, you know, I don't want to go back to where I came from. That's why I'm here. That was the goal, to get out where I'm coming from. So now you're here, and now you're here. Now you're on another level. You can't return to where you were because there's no benefit. There's benefit to them. There's no benefit to you because everything you work for now is going to waste. It's like if you go back to what's an asset and liability. You have no assets. You're not gaining off this. Everything is going out, nothing coming in.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. It's the point of view is everybody has a view. Right? So we're not seeing the very same you, we're seeing different. If I'm trying to be kind to you, right? Somebody looking on this side sees the same thing, but they say something devastating to them. But yeah, you're only being kind, and the other person saying you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. No, it's broken people fixing broken people, in my opinion. I mean, there are time and places when I think but I'll go back to even another biblical scripture. I feel like I just been reading it a lot lately.
You've been dropping bombs. Hallelujah.
So I heard this one. It's tough. It's like, because everybody thinks, oh, like Bible must have been like all this PC, you know, shit. But they had one that said, "Don't cast pearl among swine." And it's just like, you don't give pearl to pigs. Basically, it's like if someone isn't ready to get themselves out of the muck, and you're just throwing things at them, what are you doing? Like you're honestly, you're the idiot then at that point. And it's like something you learn in lifeguard training too. When you try to save someone while you're swimming, you kick your legs out so that they don't drown you, because you're going to save yourself first before you're not going to be like, oh, take my back and then drown us both. It's like you do it with the legs, because if not, you want them, if they're going to drown you, if someone's going to die, then it's going to be, you're not going to.
It's going to be them because of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there are time and places, but man, people are so much more, especially with self-help books, which, like 99% of them, like David Goggins says, like they're useless. It's like people are they're written by broken people. They're written by people that don't even have any facet of like what things are going on, what people are dealing with, and they try to fix you, and they're broken themselves, and they're just doing it, I don't know, for whatever reason. But it's like that's not what even the Bible, like the book that everybody would think, would like reach out and you'd help people and you do all this stuff. It's like, no, focus on you, focus on getting you right, then you can focus on getting your brother or sister right.
Yeah, definitely. It's, everybody hates the man until it's time to become the man.
Yep, exactly.
Like it's the same thing for the government. Everybody hates the government until it's time for them to become a part of the government, right?
They'll take the power. Yeah, they'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Like
go on.
I've learned I when I first got my actual manager spot, I was just a regular worker as much as supervisor, right?
Mhm.
Uh and management, fuck managers, oh it's fuck management. And I'm here like, yeah, I'm gonna help the people and all this shit. Me being ignorant until I got elected. And then I became management. So equivalent to everybody hates the man until they become the man. I became the man. Now I started learning things that they shouldn't know, but then management knew.
Yep. That's how it is. Yeah.
So when certain things couldn't go through, it just couldn't go through.
Hmm.
So because they saw why you're not gonna do this. Now I became the person they elected and love. I became the person. Fuck you, ain't doing shit.
Hmm.
Basically,
Yeah.
you know. And then like I soon realized, damn, I'm up here. I'm making good pay. This shit's paying my mortgage. You
Hmm.
know, it puts you in a hard predicament, and where it challenges your views and values. So like, am I gonna continue saying fuck the man and not take this nice paycheck and secure and secure this fucking paycheck that's gonna pay my mortgage, pay my bills, and give me something to save and probably help me get a house or
Hmm.
whatever? Or I'm gonna continue to say fuck the people because as soon as they don't get their way, they're gonna forget about me. They're not gonna give a
Hmm.
fuck about me. And I said, I'm gonna stick with the people. And as soon as I stuck with the people, I got kicked out. They didn't give a fuck about me. They didn't remember me. They didn't support me. They didn't
Yep.
help me.
Yep.
So, I enjoyed that life lesson.
Be a good politician, man. I think that's what George Washington said. I think he said something along the lines like a politician basically should they should basically make their job like irrelevant, you know? It's like it's just like you shouldn't be the guy who's the people pleaser, all the time. Like you gotta be the guy that actually is in there and is willing just to like be with the people, and that sometimes might not be popular. And maybe the people won't even thank you for it. Maybe they might just completely turn their back on you. I think of like the Dark Knight too, bringing back to the Batman thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Dark Knight. He runs away. Everybody thinks he's a villain. It's like sometimes it's like being the hero is much more than just being the guy who's the most popular person.
Nah, I'd rather be the bad guy. I like that.
Be the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll still be Batman, but I'll be the bad guy.
Be like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's it. It's like he runs away and nobody knows except him. And he doesn't even take it. I mean, damn, that's a powerful way to end the movie.
Yeah, and like they don't see the efforts that he stopped something great.
No,
Some
they hate
stop
him.
something that was going to be devastating to them. They don't see that.
They hate him in the next movie. Everybody hates him.
So same concept.
Yeah, no, exact same concept. The life is just in frames. It's in
Yeah.
frames that are told in many different ways.
Yeah, yeah. So went to my last question before we end. Like, how the hell did you get into magic?
That's a great question.
I saw you. I think one day jiu-jitsu, I saw the cards, and then like I saw you right. I met you on jiu-jitsu, but then like I'm always like looking on people's accounts because I want to get people to come on the podcast. Find anybody who's interested in doing something. That's how I do my research, and I found you, and you got all these fucking like nice, awesome pictures and edits, and then like, this motherfucker does magic. Got some David Blaine shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a long story. We have some interesting people that are our jujitsu class. Everybody I talk to there, it's like, damn, they all got some crazy background, some crazy history. So I love them. But yeah, magic, man. My roommate's actually a full-time magician. And back in
Yeah.
high school, yeah, full-time magician. He can blow your mind. He's always modest about it, but we could back in high school, we became friends, and he was like, "Hey, if you want to be my assistant, like I'm working at gigs at like Rutgers and some other place." We're in higght school, and at the time I wasn't even thinking like grand picture. I was just thinking like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll go work at like parties and Rutgers and whatever. I don't care. And I didn't even think like how cool it was at the time. And then like we were getting paid money to do it. Like I didn't realize that we were like basically entrepreneurs back then. I just thought we were. And he was teaching me magic on the side. I was learning on my own. And I was just like, okay, this is cool. And then once I realized that you could use it and you could like impress girls and like get phone numbers, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'll do this all the time. Our high school was like a magic school, man. Like we had a bunch of magicians come out of that school, which is you think is like, what the fuck? It's like, but we had like probably 10 magicians like come out of our high school, and they all went
That's
in
dope.
ways. Yeah. So after that, I kept performing in college. I'd go to bars and sometimes I perform. And yeah, I mean, I probably have had like 2 or 3 like relationships like start for me, like showing a girl a magic trick at one point, and it just turns into
That's
something.
dope.
Yeah.
Well, when you have kids, that's definitely gonna be helpful.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely, just don't, do the no magic trick, get a girl pregnant, disappear.
Oh no, that's not in my playbook.
Oh
No.
shit.
That's that, yeah. Damn, man. Yeah, I'm using that one too. I'm using that joke someday. Yeah, that's not my playbook. But yeah, magic, man. That's the wave, dude. I know. Most people be like, what? Especially like a random black guy before magic always be like funny, but it was good times, man. Yeah, for real.
Man.
I'll still pull out like deck cards every now and then. I have like 3 on my desk right now just to play with.
I know a lot of people like take cards and like use them like when they're nervous and anxious, they'll use them to play to calm them down.
Yeah, my little sister, she uses like fidget spinners and cards and whatnot. But honestly, I think she got turned off from the cards because she was like, "Oh, that's my older brother uses them too much. I don't want to be like him. He's a loser."
Ah.
So she's 13, so she looks up to me and like everything I do, I'll go home and be like, "Oh, I was out there hustling today." She's like, "Oh, you're just a loser. Don't talk to me." And I'm like, 13-year-old, man. It's funny. It's funny to see kids grow up, and it's funny to have like a little sister that young and like to like see her and realize the impact I got on her. Yeah, it's fun.
That's dope, man. Dude, before we leave, tell the people they can find you at.
Oh man, the only thing I got to plug is if you want, just like purchase my book, Mind and Muscle. I think if you type it in, it should pop up first thing on Amazon. Yeah, and honestly, I think that's the only thing I really would love to plug. Go read that, and I think it has a message that could change your life. So
that's what's up. Mind and Muscles. Any social media account people can follow you at and check you out, DM you.
I'm not active that much on my social media, but I think on my Twitter, that's probably the best way to reach me. It's Afro Reporter, AFRO REOTER. Yeah, so Afro Reporter and Mind and Muscle. Yeah, feel free. I think, on there I check my DMs. So
there you go, guys. Go hit them up. Isaiah, thank you for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Dude, awesome, man. Thanks so much.
No problem, man. Peace. I'm out.